This is Talkin Rock. Talkin Rock. Your backstage pass to some of your favorite rock artists. Here's your host, Meltdown.
We're back at it again for another Friday, and I've got 3 guests, 2 interviews coming up on today's podcast. Miljenko Matijevic from the band Steelheart. I've never talked with Miljenko, so looking forward to talking with Millie as I have my hands doing, my fingers doing the quotation marks. And Jeff Keith from Tesla. They've got a new song out. It's a cover of a Foghat classic. We'll tell you about that coming up here in a few. Actually, it's not even a Foghat classic, but we'll get into that coming up here in a few minutes. Find out what those guys have going on. All sorts of stuff, talking about the Tesla residency and whatnot. And then John 5 is going to finish out the podcast. He's got a new record coming out. We talk about the Motley Crue residency as well, also in Las Vegas. He's got some cool stuff to say about Ozzy and more. But we'll start with Millie and Jeff Keith first on this episode, not award-winning, of Talkin Rock with Meltdown.
Meltdown.
Yes. Good to talk to you guys. Miljenko, I've never had a chance to interview. I've been on the radio since 1990. This is the first time I've ever talked to you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Wow. Well, I guess we saved the best for last, right?
Yeah, supposedly. I played all those songs back in the day and still do. I'll Never Let You Go. Everybody loves Eileen. But, of course, we're here to talk about this Foghat single. It's an obvious question to start it all off, but why pick this song?
I think it picked us. We were just hanging out, and Jeff and I just became really great friends 5 years ago. We were doing a Monsters of Rock shows, tour, boat, whatever have you, and we just connected. I was smoking cigars. He joined us for smoking cigars and drinking champagne, and we just became great friends. And I just mentioned, hey, man, let's do a song together. Let's just have some fun. Let's do something fun. And my buddy John, he goes, why don't you guys do a Foghat song? And I was like, perfect. I just want to make love to you. And so I mentioned it to Jeff, and what does Jeff do? During my performance, I was doing an acoustic performance. This guy jumps out of the audience and jumps up on stage and starts singing, I just want to make love to you with my microphone.
I just want to make love to you.
And I was like, well, there it is. It's done. Everybody's the witness. We're doing this song. Sure enough, a couple of months later, we made it happen. We just put it together, and effortlessly, it just came together, man. We just had nothing but having fun.
Yeah, that's great.
That's what it's all about. That's what rock and roll is.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to get on this Monsters of Rock cruise for this year. I've already got the hooks in the water, but Jeff, have the guys from Foghat heard this?
As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago they played out here at Thunder Valley, which is where we play. It's 15 minutes from my house, and I went down there with Roger Earl and the guys and his wife Linda. They got me all hooked up, got up there and sang Slow Ride with them, and they're really excited. They've heard the track. They love it. They want to get behind it. They even were saying, yes, Willie Dixon's family in Chicago, I think it is. And it's Willie Dixon's son and daughter. They're like, oh, wow, we really want to push this. We love it. They're doing our dad's song. It's like, great, but we're doing it the Foghat kind of version of it, but putting our own thing to it. And Millie, produced and engineered all this stuff and made it happen. So hats off to Millie. Doing a great job. And, we're having fun.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people probably don't realize that that's a cover song, just like a lot of people didn't realize that Little Susie was a cover song as well, right, Jeff?
You know what? It's funny when people used to come up, and they go, it's my favorite Test song. I go, it's a cover, but man, thank you. And they go, no way, my favorite Test song can't be a cover. And I went, well, it's Little Susie's favorite song. It is the cover song. And it's like Signs when we're out with Motley Crue, and we had 2 nights off the road. And let's find a club that let us do our own songs acoustically, which was fun. And we covered Signs, and next, that's a top 10 single. It's like, oh my gosh. So
yeah, but you made it your own, Jeff.
We made it our own. But you know what? And people just received it like, wow, they just heard it for the first time, or whatever. But Les Emerson's a great guy. We became great friends because. 5-man electrical band, which we named the night 5-man acoustical jam in honor of the 5-man electrical band, because Les Emerson was lead singer for 5-man electrical band. They're great guys. I went out and jammed with them, but unfortunately Les passed away. But I went up and did a thing, and that's I've done it thousands of times with Tessa, but one time with the 5-man electrical band. It was just, wow. But unfortunately, it was because of losing Les Emerson. But, yeah, man, I mean, you know, you take a song, and we all start off doing covers. Everybody. The Beatles, everybody starts off doing. Yeah, everybody starts.
You just make it. You got to make it your own. You guys made it your own. That's
right.
That's why it's so. You know, it's honest.
Right.
You know, I hope that's the way everybody perceives this song that we did. So.
Yeah. Speaking of
made it to a million, Jeff.
Speaking of covers, Amelia, I was going to say, have you heard Moriah from Plush cover "I'll Never Let You Go"? Have you seen that on YouTube?
Who? Moriah?
Yeah, Moriah from Plush. She's out. She's going to be going out once again this year with Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's how good she is. But she covered "I'll Never Let You Go" on YouTube. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Oh, I can't wait to see it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she put that out. Yeah, she put that out a couple years ago. And, of course, listen, those notes, I don't know how you did it. you must.
There's a lot of vice grips.
Hey, Millie can hit them notes. That's the thing, man. Millie can hit them notes. I need to tune things down here and there and stuff with Tessa, but Millie can hit them notes. He's got this powerful voice, and he's a great guy, and it's just everything is just like, so talented.
No, it's so.
Yeah, well, that's what
fun guy.
That's what vice grips can do. Ow!
I love vice grips. You can use it for a shift or a break.
Yeah.
You can use it if you're yeah.
You're talking about the old blues guys, Millie. I thought maybe you made a deal with the devil.
No deals with the devil. Only with the God.
Right.
There you go.
No, like the Robert Johnson thing. But hey, Keith, you got a couple big shows coming up here. Tell me about that residency coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be our fourth one at the House of Blues in Mandalay Bay, and we're doing it from the 17th to the 25th. I think it's 17th, 18th, and 22nd, and the 24th, 25th. A lot of people. It's our fourth one now. A lot of people come from all around the world. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then we're just doing some stuff in the studio at Brian Wheat's studio in upstate New York. After we do that in Vegas, and then we end up flying down to Cancun, do a show down there, and then that's going to be our capper for the end of the year, so we can be home for the holidays. And then we'll pick it back up in January and rock and roll.
All right, so wait a second. I can't let you go. You talk about going to Brian's studio, so what are you doing there?
We're just doing some recording, having fun, just doing some recording. That's what we like to do. And yeah, you know, we just like to put out. We just, you know, we still like to write songs and put songs out, but of course now it's downloaded and all this stuff. I don't know. So maybe sometime we're going to have enough for a record, and because to make a record, you need sort of like a year to when you write it, when you record it, you know, and all this stuff. So we're so busy that it's, you know, we'll find time to have that space to do, you know, a full-blown record, I'm sure, but we can't say exactly when.
Yeah. All right, listen, I only got a couple minutes. Yeah, I got a couple minutes left here, so I'll just ask both of you the same question. We'll start with you, Millie. Tell me about the late 80s and early 90s before grunge. What was your life like?
Happy. Fun, rock and roll, effortless, easy, laughing, eating, having pop, you know, good sex, all the above. You know what I mean? You know, we're just making this record. I'm just saying to Jeff, it's like, shit, we got to make a record like this is what we used to make records like. You know, this song is about having fun. It's about creating songs and creating music and giving that love and energy to everyone who hears it, you know? And everything's become so serious. And it's just, I don't know, for me, it's just been so refreshing to do a track like with Jeff, and all we do is laugh our asses off, singing. I mean, that's, to me, that was like the 80s. That was what we all did, you know?
Yeah.
Then it got like, you know, let's get a cup of coffee and slice the wrist. You know what I mean? It got really too serious.
Well, I'll tell you what, for me, when we did Mechanical Resonance, great radio, then we did the 5-man acoustical jam, and then we did Psychotic Supper, and then so now we went over to Europe to do some press, and in '93, getting ready to release Bust a Nut, and all these questions were like, so what do you think about the grunge movement? And I went, the what? And they go, the grunge movement. And I went, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, but, hey, man, we're having fun, rock and roll. And they go, well, it's like there's no image. I go, well, actually, if no image is an image. So they go, no, they have no image. I go, well, having no image is an image. And so it's like they're just in like flannel shirts and all this, and you got a lot of great bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains, all this great stuff. And you know what? We still continue to be ourselves, and we put out a record and just stayed ourselves, which didn't exactly just hit the mark with the grunge movement thing. But you know what? You sell a few less records, but we just stayed true to ourselves, and we're still true to ourselves. And we are what we are, and we are who we are, and we're still having fun with it, still working.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Jeff, good to talk to you again. Millie, good to make your acquaintance after 35 years. Next time you're in Detroit, you have to swing by and say hey.
Absolutely. Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Will do, Meltdown.
Wrapping up this edition of the Talkin Rock with Meltdown podcast is my bud, John 5. I've said this before. He's one of the greatest guitar players I've ever seen. Him, Bumblefoot, Nugent, I mean, they're all up there. They just don't miss notes. They make it look so easy and effortless. He's got a new record that drops today, October 10th. As I record this, we talk about that. We talk about The Ghost. We talk about the residency with Motley Crue. He has some really nice things to say about Vince Neil. What do him and Tommy Lee do on their birthdays? And by the way, what toy did he give Tommy Lee to play with on the recent tour, which he brought to meet and greets and different things like that? Plus, he's got some nice things to say about Ozzy and a ton more. Always great talking with John 5. You can check this out on YouTube or at WRF.com if you want to watch this interview with Mr. 5. It's funny the things we talk about. Rock star and 35-year radio veteran. Before we start the conversation, we talk about all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah. How are you, dude?
I'm doing well, man. You just commented on the weather behind me. Have you been keeping tabs on the Detroit sports teams, the Tigers, the Red Wings kicking off tonight and everything?
No, I don't really keep up with sports, and I know I should, but I'm always just picking and doing all that stuff. But so, yeah, fill me in. What's going on?
Well, the Tigers are, as we record this now, the Tigers are going into Game 5 tomorrow. It's do or die against Seattle. That's at 8 o'clock, so 5 o'clock your time tomorrow.
Now, aren't the Dodgers doing really well, too?
Perhaps. Yeah, I think so. I think they're still in it, too. I'm not a huge baseball fan myself, but, this time of year I try to keep tabs on them a little bit. So
yeah, I think the Dodgers are doing really well. I mean, so it's exciting. It's the only thing I could do other than play guitar was hit a ball and throw a ball. No joke. It's the only other thing I can do.
Well, have you hit or thrown a ball lately?
Yes. And it's so weird. Like, it's just one of those things. I can go to the batting cages and hit like a super fast ball with no problem. I just go boop, boop, boop. Every time. They're like, what the hell? And there's the guys that are practicing that every day. And for some reason, I don't know what it is. I could just hit a ball and throw a ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have to get you to some batting practice and maybe to throw out the opening pitch for the Tigers.
Yeah, that'd be great. Can you imagine? But no joke. The other person that can that can throw and has incredible aim, I'm not joking, you would never guess, is Marilyn Manson. His aim is unbelievable. That's the only other person I've met that can really, really has incredible perfect aim. I was like, that's hilarious.
Wait a second. Did you guys play catch on tour or something? How do you know this?
No, he would. What would he do? I forget what he would do. Like we'd be somewhere and he would have a water bottle and I would say, oh, watch me. I'll hit that tree from like, the next town over or something. And he said, oh, I can do that too. And he's got perfect aim. Like, it's just hilarious.
All right, we got to work on this. You know, it's funny. It's like I celebrate my 30th anniversary here at Riff in 3 weeks, okay?
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you. I have never gotten asked or had gotten to throw out the opening pitch. None of this stuff, right? Nothing. I don't win awards. I don't do any of that stuff. Zach Myers from Shinedown, they asked him to throw out the opening pitch, and he kind of said, okay, fine. But then he gave it to his kids. So his 9-year-old kid's thrown out an opening pitch in Detroit before I have. The world ain't fair, 5. I'm telling you.
Life is not fair. I'm telling you. It's just not fair.
All right, let's talk about this.
Let's make this happen. Let's start a thing. Let's make this happen. You're gonna throw out that pitch.
Yeah, maybe you and I next year we can each have like a catcher behind the plate, both of us, and just zing.
Yeah, there you go.
You're going to be in town at District 142 coming up on November 19th and Machine Shop November 20th. You got a new record dropping tomorrow. We'll talk about that here in just a minute as well. But first of all, you're touring with Richie Kotzen, and I've only had the chance to see Richie Kotzen a few times, but I was just telling someone earlier, that dude is insanely talented.
Oh, yeah. It's incredible. Like, I love a great singer. Because I can't sing at all. I'm good with a couple of hey-heys and a girls and like a whoa, yeah. I'm okay. I can do that. But to have like a great singer, and he's got such a phenomenal voice on top of being a great guitar player, it's like, wow, and his voice is really amazing. Really amazing.
Yeah, he's like Chris Cornell-like.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. He's like Chris Cornell-like.
And obviously you know him well enough to go out and tour with him, right? You've known him for a few years.
Oh, yeah. So it's going to be wonderful. And, it's going to be a great tour. We're heading out very soon, and we're going to start in San Diego and then go all across these great United States.
Yeah. So Ghost drops tomorrow. So tell me about this record.
Well, what I wanted to do, it's named after the guitar. Oh, the actual one I'm holding here. And it was, there's a lot that went into this record. I always think, I know this sounds crazy and people are going to roll their eyes, but, I believe that I'm living with ghosts, and there's so many ghosts around all of us. But, I just feel like it's that kind of thing. And I did a lot of research, like in your dreams, like if you have dreams about friends or family that have passed and they don't talk to you, they're coming to visit you, so there's no words. You just communicate at a different way. I know it's hard to explain. And that's kind of what this record is about. There's no words, obviously. It's just my love of music. And I took a long time with this record, and I released all these singles and put all these videos out and just took my time with it. And I would, like, if I wrote a certain song, I would play it for like 2 weeks straight and then go into the studio and record it that way. And if I messed up, I would start over at the top because I didn't want any punch-ins. I just wanted to do it as a performance. So I just love this record. There's so many, and I love Steely Dan, and I love how they took all these different musicians for certain songs, and that's kind of like what I did as well. It's really cool.
What other musicians are on there?
So I have Stephen Perkins, who's Jane's Addiction fame, and he is on Deviant. I have Kenny Aronoff, who is on Fiend, and we all know Kenny Aronoff. I have Greg Bissonette, who is absolutely incredible. David Lee Roth. I think he plays with Ringo right now, which he does. He's on the album. I have Marco Miniman, who's one of my favorites from the Aristocrats. I have Matt Bissonette playing bass on Moonglow. I have, of course, my drummer, Alex Mercado, who's absolutely incredible. And I have Tommy Lee on there too. So I have all these different musicians, and it's so great. It just, because I really thought about each song, and I go, who would be great for this? Who would be great for that? And thanks to Steely Dan for their perfectionist. I just love perfection, and it came out wonderful.
Yeah, I love Steely Dan. So you've obviously played with some big bands, Zombie and Manson. Now you've been with Motley Crue and stuff. Does that afford you the chance to go off and just do your own thing and just like kind of get your yayas out and kind of create other things besides playing Home Sweet Home every day or whatever?
I've always done this. Like, I guess I've been doing the instrumental thing for a long time. I don't know how many years now, but a long time. Like ever since I guess I did my first record in 2005 maybe, or 2004. So almost 20 years, and it was right after I left Manson. And it was, I've been doing it for a long time, and I love it. I just love it so much because I just love pushing myself and making these crazy songs and going on these crazy tours. It's just so much fun. And I'm so thankful that I found this avenue and I can go out and play and do this. I mean, I'm so happy about it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, the Ghost drops, like I said, on October 10th as we record this tomorrow night. So I have to ask you about the residency with Motley. The thing that Nicky did with that golden guitar pick, I thought was ingenious. It's obviously not the most original idea, but I can't think of another guy who's done that before. Has that happened before?
I don't think so. Hold on. Did I lose you? Oh, there you are.
Yep.
Hold on. I don't know, but I thought that was such an incredible idea.
Yeah.
It was a really, really great idea. He threw so many picks out, and his tech one night put the golden pick in there. So Nicky didn't even know when it was going out. And he just has this cup full of picks, and he would throw it up in the air, and everybody would scamper for him. But yeah, someone got it, which is what a smart idea.
No, it always reminded me of course, Charlie and Chocolate Factory, but it reminded me.
Yeah, Willy Wonka.
Yeah, it reminded me of do you ever watch The Office where they're putting the golden ticket for free paper and they all ended up at the same place? Yeah,
exactly. It's brilliant. That's so funny.
No, but I thought that was such a great idea, and I was kind of watching along to see who was going to get this pick. But how'd the residency go? What do you think of doing shows like that? You're staying in the same place. Did you go through the same routine every day?
So here's the thing. I was so excited for it because I've never done a residency, and I've always wanted to do a residency. I love Vegas. I love the desert. And I was so excited. I was so excited. And we get there, and, I have my hotel room, and the guys were just, after a show, they'd fly home. And I just stayed and I enjoyed, because I love being on the road. I like the hotel, I like the room service, I like the whole thing, So I came back a couple times here and there, but the real magic was Vince Neil. What he went through and his struggles and how he performed and how he sang, I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. He did such a great job, and I was so proud of him because I knew what hell he went through, and I was so happy for the guy. Yeah,
that's great, man. It looked like he sang great as well, and and that was less than a year ago that happened, right?
Yeah, dude, bad. What he said. He even said it. He was in a wheelchair, and then he had to learn how to walk again. And I was like, oh my God, the struggle and how terrifying that must have been, So that was the real magic of that residency. And I'm telling you right now, every single show was amazing. There wasn't a bad show. and I listen and I read those comments and I listen and I'm so focused in on every show, and every show was awesome. I was so proud of him.
Was there a point in your mind when you found out what happened to Vince that you might never be able to play with Motley again?
Well, I wasn't sure. You know, I was. Nobody really knew anything,
right?
And I would text with Vince, and you know, he would say, "Oh, I'm doing good, and things like that. But no one really knew what was going on. You heard rumblings, and so it was wild. There's Churro. Churro, say hi.
All your animals don't have any hair. They must be cold.
I know they are. And, but this hair is naturally just sticks out of his head like that.
That's awesome.
What do you think, Churro? That's right.
No, that's great. What were the highlights of the show for you? Like each night, or was it something different every single night?
So they had this thing like in Kiss Alive 2 where, you know, I would go up on these risers, you know, at the end of Kickstart My Heart, or during the whole song, actually. So you go up on these risers. I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram because there's a lot of pictures of it, but you go up on these risers just like in Kiss, and you're going up and up. And we were at the top of the venue, me and Nikki. Nikki was on one side, I was on the other. And you know, we get up there during the song, but what other bands like Kiss did, like they would get strapped in and get all set up, and like before the song started. Oh no, not us. During the song, me and Nikki had to get up there while still playing, you know, and we'd have to get up on the risers while we were playing. And I was like, hey, are we going to be strapped in? Like, they're like, no, you're not strapped in. I'm like, oh, okay. So there was this little metal bar that kind of went around. And so I luckily just figured out I'm going to put my arm around the metal bar and play so I could like hold on if something happened, God forbid. So we're up there, and, you know, we did it at rehearsal, and we were like, it's kind of, you know, we just have to concentrate and hold on. So the first show, I'm going up, and I have my arm around, and I'm like playing and all this stuff. Then the confetti cannons come, and no one told me the confetti cannons are coming. So I'm playing at the time that you can watch this. At the time the confetti cannons go, I'm playing the solo in Kickstart My Heart. So not only am I trying to balance and not fall and kill myself, play on time and in tune, and confetti is I am covered. I can't see my hand in front of my face, and no safety harness or anything. And it was the greatest.
It's awesome. Like a Kiss moment.
A total Kiss moment. It was awesome. It was so fun. It was just a blast. Yeah. We had, me and Tommy, like, we just had, we had so much fun. Like, his birthday was the last show. We had these, for our birthdays, we're always together on our birthdays. So, like, it's like a pact. We have to be together. So it was a show day, and I got him these, we both had these penis squirt guns, which I think is so smart. Like, why aren't these like a thing? But I guess they are a thing, because I got them these penis squirt guns, and it's like you hold the balls and you just squeeze the trigger and it comes out of the penis. And so he loves this. So he's like just having so much fun and stuff. And he takes it to the meet and greet. And so he's squirting everybody at the meet and greet, and it was just, every day we had a blast. It was just so much fun.
Well, I can tell we're going to use for the internet from this interview.
Yeah.
No, that's great. So I asked your brother-in-law and your sister like what I should talk to you about a little while ago, and they said on one of the stops you're going to make on this tour coming up with Richie Kotzen, you're actually playing in New York at a place you played with Les Paul. Tell me about that night.
Yeah, so A magical night. It was the worst night of my life and the best night of my life. So my dad passed a few nights prior, and I was like just so down, I was just like really, really bad. And a friend of mine said, "Hey, Les Paul is playing at his club, the Iridium, and Jim Marshall's going to be there, the creator of Marshall amps." And they go, "Why don't you come down?" And I was so like just in such a bad way. And I was like, okay, I'm going to come down and just watch the great Les Paul and enjoy this music,
And what year?
This was probably, let's see. I'm so many traumatic things have happened to me. I can't remember years, because it's like a mental block. But it was when I was playing with Zombie during Ozfest.
Okay.
So anyway, so I am there, and I always travel with my guitar. It's like my whoopee or something. I always have my guitar, and I meet Les, and I said, "Oh, can I keep my guitar back here, when I watch a show?" And he was like, "Absolutely." We hang out, we enjoy. And he's inviting these people up on stage, these great musicians. I mean, incredible musicians. And so he cuts on them after. He's like, keep practicing, kid. You'll get somewhere. And these guys were incredible, incredible. So I was like, oh, wow, like these guys are so good. And then he goes, "We got an odd looking fella here tonight." And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to get up there, and I don't know any of these songs. And he goes, "His name's John Five. Let's hear it for him." And I was like, oh, no, I was so like not in that place. And I get up there, and I'm thinking he's going to like just say the craziest things about me and all this stuff. And I get up there. I'm telling you, I'm being honest with you. I don't know what happened, but all the stars aligned, and I just played, and it was incredible. And after the song, I got off the stage right away and thanked him. But he said, come back here. And he goes, "Son, I've seen a lot of guitar players, and you impress me. I don't get impressed a lot, and you impress me. I want you to play my Christmas special." And it was so emotional. This is a night I'll never forget. It was from the worst night and turned into the best night. It was an incredible time that happened in my life. Insane. So I'm going to play that, the Iridium. I'm going to do 2 nights there, and super excited about that.
Yeah, that's great. You just mentioned Ozfest, and I haven't talked to you since the passing of Ozzy, but give me an Ozzy story or something, that you remember about the Prince of Darkness. What do you recall about Oz?
Everybody has these Ozzy stories, and they're crazy and they're fun and they're funny. But it's because we did a lot of shows and a lot of tours with Ozzy. But what happened with Ozzy, we would have these conversations, like normal conversations. And it was wonderful because everybody, was like, oh, Ozzy and blah, blah, blah. But we would sit down and have these normal conversations. And it was wonderful. It wasn't like the crazy Ozzy. And I think that's so different than everybody else's stories. Everybody else's stories were this and that and the madness and all this stuff. But we sat down and had such great conversations about music and health and life and all that stuff. And it was wonderful. It was so wonderful to be in his presence. And I got a chance to play with him, and we did some jams and all that stuff, and we had a lot of fun. And there will never be, people say this a lot, but will never be another Ozzy, because not only was he brilliant, and his voice, but he created something that will live on forever. I mean, he's like, they created heavy metal. It's like Henry Ford, like creating the automobile or something. Like, he was so important to music and to us. And how lucky are we that we got to spend time with him, listen to him, see him live, because Ozzy will live on for so long. It's like, Lincoln or something. We got a chance to see him live and enjoy while it was happening, because we're going to be talking, people will be talking, not us, we'll be gone, but people will be talking about Ozzy for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And, so we're lucky, and we're so lucky that we got the albums and the shows and the memories.
Yeah. Was there a chance that you could have gone to back to the beginning, or were you watching it all? Did you see any of that?
Yeah, I was, actually, I got a call from Murillo saying, hey, there might be an open spot. You want to do this? And I said, of course. I'm there, just whatever you need. And he goes, okay, just hang tight, and I was like, absolutely. Whatever I'll be there. It doesn't matter. I'll be there 100%. So, but yeah, they didn't need me, but at least I got that call saying, hey, we might need you. And I was, of course, there in 1 second if I needed to be. And I just watched it, and life is a funny thing because we can't explain what happens, we've all had people that have passed, and when you go to the hospital and all the families around, but you always hear, oh, well, that person, we're waiting for that person to get to here to the hospital, and they, they sense their being or something like that in the hospital, and then that person passes. And I think that's, what do I know? I don't know anything, but like with Ozzy and that send off, it was, that's just proof that there is something so much bigger and so great out there that we can't even explain. Because Ozzy, that performance was chilling. It was incredible. He was incredible. I had tears in my eyes, and then he was gone. And those are things we can't explain,
right?
And he was so special. He was so special. I miss him every day, and I don't think that will ever go away.
Now, wrapping things up here, by the way, you talked about the ghost earlier, and you do have a ghost story you told me one time about where you saw a woman in the doorway of your room.
It's true.
Do you have any other ones?
No, that's the only time that's ever happened, and that absolutely happened. And I was so awake. I was like, okay, I'm awake, and I'm telling myself I'm awake, and I'm looking at that doorway, and I'm like, I'm awake, and I'm looking at that doorway, and I'm looking at a ghost, and I take my arm, not taking my eyes off of the image, and I'm hitting my wife hard. I'm like, wake up, and still staring, wake up, wake up. And, people's eyes take a minute she didn't understand. But yeah, it was really there. It was incredible.
That's crazy. So what do you got coming up in 2026? Can you say anything about anything you have lined up yet?
Well, I have, I'm doing a show with, at the NAMM show, I do this thing called the J5 NAMM Jam, and it's the 5th annual. And this, in January, and this time we're having Living Color. So
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to do that. I'm going to do a show in Northern California. And then this is really nuts. I'm going to do 50 shows, 50 states in 50 days. So 50 shows in a row, start in Alaska, hit all these states, every day a different state. And I think I'm going to do over 50 because we have Washington, D.C. and things like that. And then we're going to finish in Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Can you take me with you, a 30-year veteran of WRIF?
Yeah. You know what? After show 16, you'd be like, I got to get out of here.
I'm sure. Well, 5, we're going to see you twice, District 142 on November 19th, and the Machine Shop, 2 of our favorite places, coming up on November 20th. The Ghost is out on October 10th, and of course, we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, dude.
And there you have it, wrapping up another non-award-winning Talkin Rock with Meltdown podcast. Thank you so much for checking it out. We'll do it all over again next Friday. John 5, just a good dude. Like I said, 2 shows here in Southeast Michigan as he tours all around the country. 50 shows, 50 days, 50 states next year. That sounds really interesting. Got to thank Jeff Keith and Millie for checking in as well. Jeff Keith, just a solid guy, just a really good guy. And I've never had a chance to meet Millie, but yeah, if you get a chance, if you've made it this far, you definitely owe it to yourself to watch Moriah from the band Plush cover their song, I'll Never Let You Go. I mean, that song, I'm no singer, and I never claimed to be, but he hits some crazy notes on that song, as does she. And she's really good. You know, they just don't pick anybody off the street to tour with Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's how good she is. So, anyways, I'm done. Hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you for listening to Talkin Rock with Meltdown. You can help this podcast grow by giving it a 5-star rating and writing a review on Apple and iTunes. Plus, feel free to subscribe and share it with your friends. Until next time, thanks for listening to Talkin Rock.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.